this emotional countdown, our Bondi Vets reveal their top 5 hardest goodbyes. Which moment left you in tears?
I can't lose him now.
Let us know in the comments, starting with number 5.
We've had some pretty unusual orphans land on the front doorstep of the clinic, but I've got to say this latest one, she's something special.
The Bondi Clinic has been a foster home for everything from possums to birds, even joeys. But in a few short days, Pan the baby goat has really settled in.
Not exactly a help around the clinic, you wouldn't say. Pan has a chew first, ask questions later approach to most things in life.
Oh, we love having Pan here.
The vet nurses have all fallen so in love with Pan. But there's a very special attachment between Liesl and her. Never lets her out of her sight. If you ask me, Pan thinks Liesl's a mum.
She just kind of puts a smile on your face when you see her. When you hear her, you walk past in a bad mood and you hear her and, man, oh, someone loves me.
As much as we do love having Pan around here, the reality is a vet clinic isn't the ideal home. She's eating anything and everything, so we've got to find a place for her in Bondi. That's not going to be easy. They've got to understand her needs.
Is that the beach? Is that the beach? Come on. Where are you? You Fruit Loop.
While the search continues for a new home for Pan,
You gonna go say hello to anyone?
Liesl has decided to immerse the kid in Bondi's beach culture.
Come say hello. Come here.
Are you scared, Kobe?
No. You can feel her little horns coming through too.
At first they're unsure. Is it a goat? No, it can't be a goat. No, it's a dog. It's one of those special dog breeds. No, I think it's a goat. It's a goat. It's hilarious.
You are such a show-off.
Meanwhile, at the clinic, Pan's fate is being decided.
Thank you. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Wow, it's good news for Pan. So Vaucluse House have offered to take her and her vices, and they're willing to take her straight away.
Vaucluse House is an historic mansion open to the public. Just a few days ago, one of its oldest residents, Lady, finally succumbed to old age. Now Pan will take her place.
The only problem now, though, is breaking this to Liesl. She's going to be devastated.
Yeah, dig out, go for your life. So you can have fresh fruit and veg all the time when you're down there.
It's a sad day for surrogate mum Liesl. Pan is departing for her new home at Vaucluse House.
Oh, it's really hard. She's the, my baby, and it's like watching her go off to school for the first day or something, I think. Bye, Bondi Junction. Oh, this is gorgeous. Guess I've got to go, huh? Yeah, but I'll come visit you as much as I can, I promise.
As you can see how much the two of them have bonded. It's hard on Liesl, but it's just the same. It's hard on Pan. Let's try and leave for see.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pan. I'm sorry, Pan. All right. Bye, Pan.
It's like hearing your baby cry. Don't forget me, okay? Oh.
Hello, how are you? I'm Dr. Kate.
At the Bondi Vet Hospital, worried owner Lana has brought in 15-year-old Max because he's stopped eating.
You're an old boy, aren't you, buddy? So he hasn't eaten for 2 days.
Yeah, 2.5.
It's okay, Max. You right, buddy? Not very well. Come on, Maxie. Let's go in. Let's take Maxie in.
I got him when he was 6 weeks old. He's part of my family.
Hi.
He's lost a lot of weight since we saw him last. Do you think he's lost a lot of weight?
I think it's age. He always like ate normal. Only last couple of days he had
Okay.
this problem.
When I saw Max on the schedule today and I saw that he hadn't been eating for quite a while, that makes my heart sink. Especially in a 16, 17-year-old dog, not eating for a couple of days, lost 7 kilos in a year. It's a concern. Maxie, it's blind.
I think he's blind.
Yeah, no, he's blind.
Max, I think it's a continuation of what's happened 2 years ago. His body not so good.
See his breathing like this? Right, see how he's like struggling to get air in? You can see his abdomen there that's moving. You right? So you hear that cough? So he's got fluid in his chest. It's like kind of having like a wet sponge, and they can't actually fill with oxygen. So what's happening, he would be feeling right now like he would have asthma.
Main thing, do a blood test, full blood test. If something wrong, blood test will show you something wrong.
I think what Lana would like me to say is that we can do all these tests and we can do all of these treatments and that Max is going to get better. And sometimes that is the case. Sometimes that is the case. So there is some point to do a blood test. We can get some clues and we can get some leads about where we actually go to from here. But Max is a very, very elderly dog. 16 to 17 years old is a very old dog. Can I get Max better? I don't know. He's a good boy, isn't he? There we go, buddy. So what I'm going to do is run some in-house bloods. They're going to be back within the next sort of hour or so.
Just help him, please. Mush. Mush.
Devoted owner Lana can't imagine life without her special boy.
I want him to live much longer because he's a pleasure.
Next, Kate is doing an X-ray to see what's going on with Max's breathing.
With Max's lungs is that there's not much black in here. So all we can see is that there's a whole bunch of fluid that exists in this chest cavity. This all here is lung field, and this is supposed to be black and it's not. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is actually probably coming from his right side of his heart. In other words, his right side of his heart's possibly collapsed and failing.
If I can help, I help because I'm against just do a job and next dog. Sorry, that's part of my family.
Lana is now desperately hoping Max's blood results are good.
So what we can see here is we're starting to get into multi-organ dysfunction. We've got high kidney enzymes. In fact, one of his kidney enzymes is so high that it's actually unable to read on this machine. I'm really devastated about these blood results. I can't give Max new kidneys. I can't give Max a new liver. A lot of these problems, I can't make his bone marrow produce more red blood cells. So this may be the end for Max. You right, Maxie? He's just having a little sleep.
Kate now has to gently explain to Lana how much Max's health is deteriorating.
Max is a very, very sick dog. He's 100% suffering. And I'm not entirely sure right now that Lana knows how sick Max is.
Okay.
I'm really sorry. He's not going to come back from this. Honestly, I don't even know that he's going to make it the night. Like, he's just deteriorated today to a point like all he wants to do is sleep. One of the very difficult things about being a vet is to bring up the idea of potentially putting the dog to sleep. It's a very difficult conversation to have. And honestly, I feel as though that the duty that I have is to relieve suffering. And I try and see this in the most positive light as I possibly can see this, is to relieve suffering. And I hope I can do that job well. Max.
Later that day, Max's brave battle ended peacefully with Lana by his side.
Just been down the road. Yeah, so the back leg is looking dodgy.
All right, you better come straight through.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is confronted with a shocking hit-run emergency.
What's her name?
Bluebell.
Bluebell. Oh, no, Bluebell.
Bluebell. Yeah, she's the doctor from here. Yeah. That's right.
Aww.
Bluebell is just 2 years old and a regular patient at the clinic.
What happened?
Well, just basically someone knocked on the door and said that they found her on the road, and did I know who she was? And yeah, she's my neighbour's cat.
She's got some cuts inside her mouth and obviously some pretty deep bruising around the side of her gums there.
We found the last cat that they had, and that had been killed on the road. So, yeah, I don't know why. It's outside our house.
Okay, I just get a little bit worried when you see them panting like that. There's every chance she may have actually got some sort of trauma to her chest as well, and that may explain why she's having trouble breathing. What I'm trying to do is just trying to stabilise her and just stop that panting. Because if she can just get more oxygen around her body, then we'd buy ourselves so much more time.
And now has to break the terrible news to Bluebell's family.
She's been hit by a car. No, she's not dead. Okay.
You got permission to bite me if I do anything that hurts, because hurt right now mightn't be a bad thing. Okay?
Chris urgently needs to stabilise Bluebell, but his major concern is the lack of movement in the cat's back legs.
Its back legs just don't have a lot of muscle tone to them. She doesn't seem to have too much awareness of where those back legs are or what they're doing. Was she meowing a lot? Did she seem in pain?
No, she was absolutely fine.
The fact she's not showing a lot of pain, it worries me more than if she was squealing out right now. Potentially she may not have those messages going through, and if that's the case, then you worry that the spinal cord might have some damage. Has she flicked that tail at all?
No, she hasn't.
The tail is controlled by all the nerves that are running to and from the spinal cord, so the movement of the tail is a pretty good indication of how that spinal cord is functioning, and the moment that tail of hers hasn't moved an inch.
Bluebell is no stranger to the Bondi staff. 2 years ago, she was one of 4 stray kittens dumped on the clinic doorstep.
I looked after them when they came in as kittens. And I've looked after her ever since she's come in, every time she's come into board.
It's one of those things, when you know so much about a patient like we do with little Bluebell, it's worrying.
Bluebell's distraught owner Grania has just arrived with her children Rory and Amelia.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
So, Bluebell, she's obviously been hit by a car. She's stable. She's breathing relatively comfortably at the moment. What I want to do now is take some x-rays. I just want to make sure that everything in terms of her spine, her pelvis, everything that's important in that respect, I just want to make sure that's okay.
Do what you can for her.
Yeah, no, well, she's a sweet cat, don't worry. Everyone
She's
here.
gorgeous, and they know we're here because that's where we got her from.
Yeah. This x-ray is going to tell us a lot. The spine is what it's all about at the moment. We can fix a fractured pelvis, but a spine, it's going to be tough. I don't like this. I don't like this. She's got a pretty serious spinal injury there. That isn't a fracture. It looks like where you've got one vertebrae and you've got another one, the force of the impact's just pushed one up.
At the Bondi Clinic, X-rays have confirmed Chris's worst fears about hit-run victim Bluebell.
That's the canal of the spinal cord sitting inside. Now, I can't see how it can go there and then bend and come up here. That spinal cord doesn't bend. So how it is actually going there and then to there, I don't know. There's moments when Bluebell comes in and you're fighting to keep her alive. You have a little win in terms of stabilising her, and then you get that X-ray and it just like a big punch to the chest. She just sucks the air out of you because you know what it means.
Bluebell's family are waiting for Chris to tell them the result of the X-rays.
She's a very loving, gentle cat. She's chased every day by our dogs. We've got 2 mini schnauzers and she just doesn't mind. She lies on the kids' beds and they, jump on top of her and she just doesn't mind. She's beautiful.
I'm just going to call up Sash because we need to organise an operation for her pretty quickly.
All Animal Specialist Hospital, Michelle speaking.
Chris is now calling surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky for advice.
Just had a cat brought in that was hit by a car, and at L3, L4, there's a disarticulation, so a bit of a step.
When you pinch your toe, does she complain about it?
She doesn't look happy.
But she's not demonstrably going, ow, that hurts, when you pinch your toe.
No.
That's a very bad sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they've got no deep pain perception, then her chance of recovery with surgery is less than 5%.
Okay.
Okay.
Not good. It's not good news. I'll speak to the owner. Sorry that took so long. I just took quite a few X-rays to know for sure exactly what was happening there. So they're looking at about a 5% chance with surgery of getting it right.
Okay.
So it's not the news we want.
No, it's not. And it's not. Of course, I'd like you to do everything for her, but I also don't want her to be in any huge distress. Can we go and see her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hello, darling. Hello. It's all right, Bluebell. Do you want me to give you a pat? Absolutely. I think I know deep down what we should do.
This is such a heartbreaking decision for Grania to have to make. It's all about little Bluebell's quality of life, and they love this cat so much, yet if she can't walk around by herself, let alone do cat things like keeping herself clean or go to the toilet even, it's no life. And so I totally understand the decision.
We're not coming home today.
I don't think she's coming home, no.
They don't understand, they don't try to work it out, but there's just this innocence there that everything will work out all right. And in this situation, it doesn't.
Your emotions go all over the place. It's not only the family that suffers, it's the staff around here, everybody that's cared for this cat, they know her so well.
Everyone's beaten up by it. She was a part of this place for a long time.
It's okay. Oh, okay.
It's touch and go. She's in a bad way. She's copped a really serious head trauma.
A hit-run victim has just arrived at the clinic.
Her circulation, it's deteriorating. So we've just got to stabilise that, get the best out of it we can. Okay, so I've got the catheter in there. It's going to allow the drugs to get in there a lot more quickly. Come on, buddy. Come on, mate. Come on. Okay, so you've seen him on the road?
Yes, and the others were just standing there.
Dawn Hardy and her daughter Fiona rescued the road accident victim.
Someone actually ran over its whole head and then just kept driving and just left it there. And they just said, it doesn't matter because it's just going to die. And they went, you can't say that.
Now, has he got worse since you've been with him?
No, it just wants to bite me.
Just wants to bite you. It's the thanks you get, isn't it? Yeah. You've done the right thing in bringing him in, though, so thank you. You might have saved his life. It's just incredible that someone could run over a little dog like this and not even stop.
Chris administers morphine to control the pain and large doses of cortisone to limit the swelling on the brain.
He's just got to, I guess, trust us right now to know that we're trying to do the best we can for him. Go on, mate. That bruising, that area there should be white. He's got an enormous amount of trauma to his skull, and it's amazing he's actually alive. He's a walking miracle, or a lying one right now. And, that blackness there could even be rubber off a car tyre, so... And it looks like most of the impact's gone through his skull there, but the wheels managed to find a way to hit there as well.
With the dog's life hanging in the balance, Chris hasn't had a chance to check the sex. Turns out it's a little girl.
See that stiffness and that rigidity? It's a really upper motor neuron, so, and that could be skull trauma, it could be high-level spinal injuries up here. It may just be all shock, and just as a result of the head trauma, which would be great. Can we just get that scanner in here, Neil?
Neil scans for a microchip, which contains details for the terrier's owner. At last, some good news.
Bye now. The dog's registered, but they're not able to contact the owners yet, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
She has stabilised, but really, the next few hours are critical. It's okay, mate. You hang there. Okay, you just keep on going. I'm just going to have a look here and see if there's a response to the light here. There's a slight response there, not a huge one though. The fact there is a response there, I guess, is a positive, but there's a lot more negatives than there are positives right now. How you going? Stephen, is it? How you going? I'm Chris. Hey, Chris.
Owner Steve Duggan has finally been found.
Bad little bit of timing, haven't we? Yeah. All right, do you want to come through and we'll have a look at Jackie for you? She had a massive impact on that car, and I mean the fact she's even here is a minor miracle in itself. But she's smelling you now.
Hello, Jackie. Jackie.
The way she responded to Steve's smell, I thought was just amazing. She was using every last bit of energy to get up and see him and just be close to him. And then Steve tells me she's just 14 months old. Jackie's his best buddy, and that's cruel.
I got her as a companion because I live by myself. I wanted the dog to have a bit of company. I know, Jax. I know. Oh, you're always so excited to see me, aren't you, Jackie, eh? Unconditional love.
Police are now investigating Jackie's hit run. Steve's friend had taken the terrier for a walk and tied her up outside a local hotel for just a few minutes. Security camera vision shows a stranger untying the terrier and stealing her lead.
Why do you steal a $3 leash? It's just criminal.
I know, Jax.
Thank you.
Obviously, she can't be anything like she was before. But I'm just worried about her quality of life. You know.
I'd love to be able to just give Steve some sort of reassurance that everything's going to be okay, but it's just not really possible right now.
Stay there, Jackie. You go have a sleepy.
As Steve says goodbye to Jackie, he knows his best friend needs a miracle. Back at Bondi, Jackie has stabilised enough for Chris to carry out some crucial x-rays.
3, 1, 2, 3. So Jackie's improving. She's somehow beaten the head trauma, the concussion, and now she's doing her best to convince me that she can beat this whole thing. But there's one final test, and that's the x-rays. We've got to work out what's going on with that spine.
X-ray.
I think the thing I find most touching about Jackie at the moment is the fact that she can't see, but the only comfort she's got is that she can smell things, and you go near and she has a sniff of you and she has a little lick of you as if to say, you know, are you helping me now?
It's not looking good.
That's a really serious spinal fracture there. So she's got a severed spinal cord. As if she hasn't been through enough already.
Exactly.
I mean, she's tough, but she's not that tough.
She's fought so hard as well.
Yeah,
Seemed very fair.
You can't work miracles.
It's not fair.
I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry, you're a little fighter though, aren't you, huh? You want to hang on. You really do. I guess what's infuriating in this situation is that she was just doing what she felt natural. She was let off the leash by some idiot who decided to take matters into his own hands. Who knows why? And she's the victim of some person's stupidity and thoughtlessness. And, you know, he doesn't have to see this. He doesn't have to deal with the sight we see here with this little girl in trouble. And it's senseless.
It never gets any easier. In fact, it sometimes gets harder, particularly as you get to know the animal and the people involved. We know with the animal that we would never let them suffer, but it's really hard for the people. That's what breaks your heart. It breaks my heart.
Jackie's owner, Steve, decides to put his best friend out of her pain.
At the Richmond Hill practice, the consult room is open.
Hi! Wow, look at you today. Are we a Buffy twin?
Yeah, we're twinsies today.
Yeah.
One of Scott's most colourful characters has booked in her 13-year-old Chihuahua, Buffy, for his regular checkup.
Oh, I love the outfit.
Thank you.
Vet nurse Gemma is impressed with Victoria's fashion statement.
Absolute. And a tail. And a tail.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Hi. How are you?
Victoria, you look nuts.
It's onesie day today, just hanging out, chilling.
You know those dictionaries that you can get with pictures?
Yes.
You, at the moment, right now, would be under bonkers. You're going... In you go.
Thank you.
Even a tail. How you been getting on with the injection still?
Absolutely fine. I mean, sometimes he growls at me, but I just put him in the bag and give it a go.
Amazing. What a long way we've come, hey?
I know.
It was 3 years ago that Scott diagnosed Buffy with diabetes.
When Victoria found out that Buffy was a diabetic, she was inconsolable. She's needle phobic. She visibly shook. She went white, she sweated. She wouldn't even stay in the clinic. Honestly, we'd go in the consult room, I would take Buffy and she would go outside the front door. So it was extreme.
It took 6 months for Victoria to conquer her fears and give Buffy his needles.
I just get on with it because if I don't do that for him, he will die. So I have no choice. I keep him alive.
So today, what we're going to be doing is a couple of blood tests.
Okay.
But recently, Scott's been concerned about Buffy's liver results. Today, he's doing more tests to find out what's going on.
What we're trying to do is just see, is it on an upward trend or is it on a downward trend?
You know, it's probably going to sound silly, but he is my son, as far as I'm concerned. I don't have kids. I have Buffy, and I have his paws tattooed on me, and he's just my baby. He's the love of my life.
Give me the little man.
There you go. All right,
Say
baby.
goodbye to your mama.
Love you, Buffy.
Say goodbye to mama.
Hey? Oh, I love you.
Buffy will now be taken down to the treatment room for the first of his blood tests.
Bye, mama.
Love you, love you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Onesie, like a Chihuahua onesie.
It almost doesn't surprise me, though.
So this little guy, we're going to do some bloods today.
Alrighty.
So you're all nicely set up there, so...
Scott and Emma are now starting Buffy's blood tests. The 13-year-old diabetic needs constant monitoring.
He's always just so well behaved here, isn't he?
He really is.
His owner Victoria will find out the results tomorrow when she picks up her little buddy. Any separation for the two of them is difficult.
See, you're a good boy, aren't you? My opinion of those two is that they're like conjoined twins. If one's unwell, the other's unwell. If one's not there, the other one starts giving up. When Victoria went to New York a couple of months ago, he lost about 0.5 kilogram. Now, for him, that's about 20% of his body weight, and he did that over a course of just 3 days. He just stopped eating. He just gives up. I'm doing my best to keep Buffy as healthy as possible, but that won't last forever, and when the time comes, I'm really worried for Victoria. There you go, there's his food.
Shreddies?
My Off you go, champ.
Only the best for sir.
He's even got some lipstick from Mum on his head.
Upstairs, Victoria has arrived to find out the results of Buffy's blood tests.
Hi.
Hiya.
Mummy's here.
Change of outfit, hey?
Yes. Oh, hi, baby. Mummy's here. Mama's here. Hi, monkey.
Okay.
So,
the news isn't brilliant. The numbers that we have got today are about double what they were a week ago.
What?
I know. Just to check, all the medications, you've been getting them down?
Yeah, everything.
Everything, you're happy with how he's been eting and
No, seriously,
insulin?
how
And
could it get worse?
Victoria is always someone I have to deal with very gently, but bad news never goes down very well, and this is bad news. We need to wait for some more results to come back.
Sorry, this is like, I did not expect this.
I know. I didn't either.
What?
I know. Well, his levels have doubled. One of the main liver enzyme was 360, and now it's 720. The second enzyme that we've been using, the new type of medication for, is so off the scale the machine can't even measure it.
At the Richmond practice, Scott is struggling to deliver heartbreaking news to Victoria about her 13-year-old puppy.
What are you saying?
His liver's deteriorating. No, I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to know what you're saying. You know what I'm asking.
I know what you're asking. Look,
How much time? I need to know.
we're probably looking at months.
I need to just go outside. I need to just take you. I can't. This isn't what we were coming here for. I need to. I'm sorry. I have to go outside.
You're all right. Yeah, it's literally is the worst part of the job to have someone that upset is,
No, not now. I can't lose him now.
In this instance, it's kind of upsetting a member of your family almost, it's, it gets you on a level. I mean, it did. Okay. It's not very often that you're caught off guard when you see an animal who seems to be going well, putting on weight, seemingly healthy, well managed, well controlled, and the numbers are not reflecting that. We were shocked when we saw the numbers. I thought, oh my God, my heart dropped because I know how much Victoria thinks and feels about that dog, and I knew that it was going to be a dark day.
I don't know what to do.
At the moment, there's nothing that you can do.
I knew he was going to go this year, and I need him. Because I do everything I can for him, and I thought I was doing a good job, so I thought everything was going to be okay. He means everything to me, so I'll do him proud.
To have a client run out of your consult room after you've reported results, it's tough. It's tough. You don't want to upset anyone, and when someone is visibly that upset, it gets to you.
We'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right, lots of love.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
And there's another patient that's been on Scott's mind.
Is that Dougie for bugger off? I think it might be.
Well, yes, that's him saying it.
Last week, he had to tell Victoria that 13-year-old Buffy's liver is failing.
I think what the results have shown really is that it's not black and it's not white, and there's still a lot of work for us to do.
It's clear Buffy isn't willing to accept his diagnosis.
I am struggling to take you seriously. I am. As much as it pains me to see a patient that normally loves me swearing in dog, it's no bad thing, because I think what it's showing to me is just how much zest for life he still has. So that's great. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, he will keep going for a very long time. I'm sure he will show us all how it's done, that's for sure.
And whilst that's happening, I'll be by your side.
Great, thank you.
Pleasure.
Victoria had holidays booked in the coming weeks. She's cancelled them. She's that dedicated to that dog that she isn't going anywhere whilst we're unsure as to his future. And, you know, you've got to take your hat off to that.
I'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Say bye, puppy.
Bye. See ya. Oof. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right back at you. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Yeah.
Bye. It's all right, boo.
Dogs, cats, all creatures great and small just encapsulates the way that British people love animals. They are a nation of animal lovers. And to be able to work in an environment where people are so engaged with their pets that they're willing to do absolutely anything to make them right is nirvana for any vet. Good girl.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to subscribe to the Bondi Vet YouTube channel. Click on the screen now to continue watching more great content.